Hi. Did we only watch the first one? Yeah. We only watched the first one, but I ended up basically playing it an entire second time because I was messing around with the technical piece of it. Dude, Discord, man. Discord's just, they do not have their stuff together, man. They do not have their stuff together. It's ridiculous. Hey, 45 seconds. I got to hit the pre-roll. 45 seconds, and I got to hit the pre-roll, so get yourself subbed to the channel. No, I already did the 3 hours of Beck video, Stratolorian. You missed that. That was yesterday. Today, we're just going to give you the summary. Wow, and Venadia on a 155 stream streak? That's insane. Wow, that's crazy, man. Thank you so much. That is wild. Voltron says, what was yesterday? Yesterday, we did a live Twitch and YouTube where we watched Beck's video. It's still up. It's on YouTube if you want to go back and watch it. And so today we're doing a podcast. And I'll put everything together. Oh, I got to hit the pre-roll. It's going now. And this will allow me to not have to do a show tomorrow. So I'm pretty excited about it. Look at us. We are working ahead of schedule. All right? I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. Mimi says, yesterday we took 3 hours to watch the Beck video. Today we'll take 4 hours to summarize. Actually, no. I want to be 2 hours tops, Mimi. You're in charge. Tarpy's not here to keep control today, so you're in charge. Okay? You're in charge. You got to make sure I'm out in 2 hours. Nah, Mimi, you're in charge. I got to get out of here in 2 hours. Tarpy is on the plane. She does not. Actually, Tarpy, are you able to listen? You can listen, but you're not allowed to talk on an airplane Wi-Fi. You can listen, but you're not allowed to talk. Does that 2 hours include DJ's time? Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of DJ's time, but not a whole lot because I want to get out of here. I want to go into bed at a decent time. Hey, Caledon, what's going on? Did I do Studio B last night? Yes. Dude, I'm telling you, I've been on stream with you guys more this weekend than I haven't been, which is incredible. I am looking at Discord, Tarpy. I saw that. I said that you... Oh, okay. I was asking if you can listen... If you can listen, but you can't watch, you can't talk. Yes, I'm watching the Discord. I see it. All right, you guys started a hype train. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Fisty was on an airplane last night for Studio B. What? So you didn't listen? You can always listen on an airplane. You just can't talk. You can always listen. Yo, thank you, Engineer, for the 100 kitty bitties. Zoomer, thanks for the sub. Janusum, thank you for the resub. And Alicia for the 100 kitty bitties. Axio Buns of Steel, thank you for your 11-month resub. Appreciate that. Nick, thanks for the YouTube subscription. Appreciate that as well. Thank you, guys. All right. Oh. All right, Tarpy must not be listening. Okay. All right, everybody's back from ads. We should probably go ahead and press the start. We'll go ahead and press the start, and we'll do a couple of thank yous. We'll do our introduction, and we'll get straight into it. Mimi, you're in charge. Just saying. Mimi's in charge. It's all up to Mimi. Don't screw it up. Hey, what's going on? I kill you. Thank you for being in the chat. Listen, you guys are already preemptively starting a hype train in here. We've got what? Oh my gosh, you guys just did it. Freelancer, thanks for the bits. Lord of Scaring, Gray Sabers, Engineer, thank you guys for the bits. And a hype train is underway over on our Twitch audience. You guys get in on that, be a part of it, be a part of the shenanigans, and get yourself registered to go to this big cruise in February of 2026. The Talking Trek is sending you and a friend on. One lucky winner and a friend getting the trip of a lifetime aboard Star Trek The Cruise 9. It's coming up this coming winter. All right, yeah, do that. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the show. My name is DJ. Let's do a Talking Trek server sound off. If you guys don't mind, let's go ahead and press it right now and see who is actually hanging out. Juby is hanging out. What's going on? Tarpy on an airplane. She is listening from an airplane today. Spectre on server 11, Noon Whistle on 29. Major Pothead on 67. Sherlock Holmes on 27. Raj on 9. Benny Hills Ghost on server 42. Thank you very much. Counselor Hef on server 20. Thank you. Sal on server 49. I'm struggling to read. Guru Meditation on server 58. Thank you. Scaling back from the Outback on 193. Hopping on over into the YouTube chat. Who's hanging out in YouTube right now? Raj on server 9. Jason on 44. Caladon is hanging out. Walter on server 34. Thank you so very much. Indominus Prime on server 53. Shadow Sheep on 133. Voltron on 49. Khan on 13. Khan on 13. Engineering on 36. J-Babes on 13. Noon Whistle, 29. Did I already read yours? God bless it. Noon Whistle, stop. You're always messing me up. Bear Bite on 24. Newton on 702. Daverick on 21. Dave Strokes on 32. Floyd on 21. Beat for the Gods on 17. Norwich on 35. RSDJ on 104. Patrick on 107. Kirok on 61. John Rule on 32. Candy White on 24. Orcanado. What's up, dude? Orcanado on server 84. Victor on 102. Zoomer on 34. Psycho Jester on 703. And the list goes on. There's like, oh my gosh, you guys are wild tonight. There's like another 50, 60, almost 70 some messages. Thank you guys so very much. We currently have over 220 people in the live studio audience. Nice. Thank you. Zerg dropping a 33-month resub in the chat. Thank you. And Delisha dropping 10 gifted. That's right. That's good for 20 entries. 20 entries into the Talking Trek Cruise sweepstakes. Thank you very much. Floyd, thank you for the bit. Check dropping 5 subs. Check, thank you for your 5 subs. K9 Tooth, the 36-month Tier 3 sub. Thank you. Iron Fister dropping 5 gifted. Indominus Prime with another 5 gifted. And the chaos continues. The chaos continues. Thank you guys so very, very much. Appreciate that. Zerg, what's going on? Thank you very much for being here. Radio Dad, 29-month resub. And you guys are already into a level 6 hype train. If Tarpy were here, she would say, golly, that's amazing. Great job, everybody. Let's push for that level 10, and we'll win $100 tonight. I think that's what she would say. I think that's what you would say. Gipper from STFC says, thank you, Andalisha, for the sub, and I appreciate all of you guys who say thanks for the gifted subs. I do appreciate that. It makes the people who gift very, very nice. Feel very, very nice as well. So a couple of things before we get into the show here today. We are working on a limited staff schedule here. Thank you guys. 3.5 minutes on a hype train. Already halfway through level 6. You guys are insane. Lil Danny, thank you for the tier 3. Yes, Silver Tab, thank you for the 100 bits. I forgot to turn off channel redeems. So if you're in the podcast, you now get to listen to a possum joke. Here you go, Axio Buns of Steel wants a possum joke. What did the cat say to the person he was talking to on the other end of the phone? What did the cat say to somebody on the phone? Do you know what the cat said? What did the cat say? Can you hear me meow? Yes, thank you. Can you hear me meow? Very good. Thank you very much. Axio, appreciate that. Raj asking for a random thought. I'm going to have to refund that one, I think, because I don't have any random thoughts right now. I wasn't prepared. I didn't do stupid news. Because we're trying to do a quick podcast today. Mimi is in charge. See, Griffin is still. Where did he say he was? New Jersey or something terrible? Sorry, I mean, I didn't mean that. I mean, just saying he's somewhere else. Calbound, thank you for the 29-month resub. Yeah, I know. He's not in L.A. He's somewhere else. Anywho, he's out of town. He comes back tomorrow. Tarpey is on a flight from Washington, D.C., and Matters, I think, is playing Fortnite. I don't know where Matters is, but it's just me on the stage. It's me all by my lonesome. All right. It's just me on the stage here tonight. So, hey, what's going on? Con Solo Parker, thank you for your 5 gifted subs. Appreciate that. The Gipper dropping 500 kitty bitties. Holy smokes. Yes, that is correct. I am unsupervised. I am unsupervised. Dirty Bear Bill dropping 10 gifted. Thank you. Good lordy. You know, here's the thing. I get it, though. I totally understand because we've done a lot of content this weekend. We started, let's see, we did not stream Friday. Didn't do anything Friday. Saturday, we did a 6-hour stream. A 6-hour stream right here on Twitch and YouTube. Had to make a couple of edits. And so the VOD is not up on Twitch. It is up on YouTube. All right. So we've got that up there. Really, truthfully, the whole thing was over like 12 seconds. I had to do a 12-second edit. Isn't that crazy? Do I need a babysitter? Nah, everything's fine. So the YouTube video is up. Tell us all the leaks before Beck logs in. She released all the leaks. All I did was explain more on the leaks that she released. I gave all the leaks yesterday. We're going to summarize those today in podcast form for our podcast audience. Talk about the new ship, the GS-31, which already has a couple of great names out there. Yeah, it's already got a couple of great names. And we're going to talk about Elite Solo Wave Defense. We're going to talk about the store. We're going to talk about the rewards. We're going to talk about the current structure of that economy, directives, and so much more. That is all coming here today. So we're going to give you guys the summary of everything that we discussed yesterday in 6 hours, and we're going to do it very, very quickly here today. And I say quickly because it's late, because we were watching a movie from 1987 in the Discord earlier today. Earlier today, we watched Short Circuit, 1986. Dude, let me tell you something. That movie stands up. All right? I'm here to tell you, that movie stands up. All right? From 1986, we watched Short Circuit in the Discord earlier today. And I want to throw a couple of shout-outs real quick. Thanks to Matters. Thanks to Bafty. Thanks to Orange for helping me diagnose some of my technical troubles. I know it's unimaginable that I had trouble with tech today, but everything got worked out. You know what? Let me just throw this out there. Did you guys know that if you are on a stream, whether it's a voice chat, a video chat, anything, on Discord, on your mobile device, that you can't turn off the sound notifications? Murphy, here's the thing. You say I couldn't watch it with the tech problems. Guess what? Wasn't on my end. It's apparently something you can't do on mobile, which is absolutely insane. How stupid. Discord, you got to fix that. And what I was Googling and I was reading on Reddit, this has apparently been an issue for years. Like multiple years. I think 2 or 3 years. Isn't that insane? That is absolutely wild. I cannot believe that Discord hasn't fixed that for years. So, anywho, what we discovered and what we're just going to have to remind people of moving forward, if you're going to watch one of our movie nights, it would be ideal for you to watch on PC and not on mobile. If you're going to listen to mobile, then you're going to hear people join and leave and the stream start. You know, the diddle-ding or the diddle-ding or the diddle-ding, you know, that thing. It's terrible. Okay? It's absolutely terrible. And I fought that for the entire first movie, I thought it was me. I thought, because I kept hearing it, and I thought it was me. It wasn't. It wasn't. All right. Who's that? Check says I was on PC and hearing all that too. Well, you have to turn it off. You have to turn it off on your end, but at least you can turn it off, right? You can't actually turn it off on mobile. So I figured out how to turn it off on my PC client. Then everything was great, but I was still hearing it on my mobile, and I couldn't do anything about that. And then some other people helped me figure it out. Guys, the hype train has officially ended 50% through a level 7. Thank you so much. Golly, thank you. Really do appreciate that. Thank you. Wristbreaker says, why not use the desktop version? Wait, what? No, I know the PC version works fine. It's the mobile that doesn't work, Wristbreaker. It's the mobile that doesn't work. The PC was fine. I did everything right. Well, I had everything right by the time it was done. Because again, shout out to tech support over in Bafty's chat today, who helped me out. Figured it out, like switching from display view to application view, and then I had to mute my part of the audio and then do application audio, all that stuff. Anyway, it was Silvertap says that explains it. At the end, I was watching on phone, but early I was trying on PC and had no movie audio, so that was a problem, Silvertap, and then I fixed that. All right, I fixed the movie audio and it was working, but then on the phone you were having the sound issues. Danny, thank you for the 5 gifted you just dropped in the chat. Good for 10 entries into the Talking Trek Cruise sweepstakes. Thank you very much for that. Matters is in our stage chat right now. He was helping me. I kept saying, hey, would you leave and come back? You didn't even get to watch the movie because I kept saying, hey, walk out, walk back in. Yeah. He was part of the reason you guys were hearing so much, because I was trying to test on the back end. But, yeah, no, it was absolutely crazy. Wristbreaker says you don't need to use the app while on mobile. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying, like, open a Chrome window, use the browser version on your mobile phone. Holy smokes.
That would work, I guess.
That is brilliant. We'll have to try that. We'll have to try that next time. But see, here's the thing. You guys have to do it, not me. Right? Yeah. You guys have to do it. So next time we have a movie night, I'm just going to have to put up a little disclaimer and be like, hey, listen, if you don't want the sounds, either watch on PC or open up a browser version on your phone. Don't use the app. All right? Because it had nothing to do with what I did. So after we watched it the first time, Matters and I went back into testing mode, and I basically just started it over. I played it again. And we got it working as clean as we could. By the way, the audio and the video, I finally got that cleaned up. Do you guys remember when I did movie night with Section 31 and it was really, really bad? Oh, man. This was great, wasn't it, Matters? The audio and the video quality was perfect this time, and that is because of Bafty and her team. They got me set up right as rain. So it's perfect now. The only problem is just these stupid sound things. And so then we ended up basically just watching the movie a second time.
I know it's hilarious. It was like, because of all the jumping in and out, and then trying to do it in the studio, but then like the video didn't work there, and all the testing and stuff we were trying to do, I didn't actually realize that you played the first one again.
Yeah.
Until basically the scene with Laser Lips.
Yeah. Hey, Laser Lips, your mother. The writing
through, and I was like, "Oh, it's the same one again."
The writing in that movie is so good. Like, I don't necessarily want to spend a bunch of time talking about it tonight because we got limited time. And by the way, Camel, it wasn't on my end. So streamer mode, it wasn't join or leave sounds on my end. It was for the recipient. So here's what was happening. I was streaming it from the studio computer, but I didn't want to sit here. So I logged into my second account and I went into the living room so I could sit on the couch and watch it because I didn't want to sit at the computer. And so I was watching my own movie on mobile, and I kept hearing it, and it was driving me nuts. I couldn't stand it. But anyway, that's right. So next time I'll try that. That would be a good idea. So it wasn't streamer mode. It wasn't on my side. It's on the end viewer side. But let me just say, obviously, we're not going to spend a bunch of time talking about this, but let me say that movie, holy cow, what great writing. That movie totally stands up. totally,
Oh, yeah.
totally stands up. What a great, great movie. The writing was hilarious. The jokes were funny. If you haven't seen that movie lately, you need to go back and watch it. It's so good. We will probably go back and watch the second one very soon because there's two of them. So I want to watch the second one. Tarpy, shout out. Tarpy is in the live studio audience now, streaming from 34,000 feet. That is awesome. Welcome in. So, no, it was a lot of fun, and it's got a great cast. Fisher Stevens is in there. He is so funny. His dialogue is the funniest in the entire movie, but they were all funny. All right. Johnny Five was great. People always say, I saw in the chat, somebody was asking, who's Johnny Five? He's the star of the film. He's the robot in Short Circuit. And there is a Short Circuit too, which I also bought today. So maybe we can watch that together. Maybe even later tonight if I feel like it. I don't know. I don't want to do a long show because I want to get into bed early. So, listen, Shadow Sheep says from memory, the Indian guy was kind of a racist stereotype. Listen, yeah, but yes, I'm not going to deny that. But this is from 1986. Okay. The standards were different then. There's
he
some
racist back then.
Yeah, well, no, I mean it kind of was, but it was it was more, I guess, accepted, or like there was less of a taboo about it. It was less of a social issue. But the movie was just great for it to be a 1986 movie. It was a fantastic movie. So it was. It's just funny, good writing. And regardless of the stereotype of it, the dialogue was really, really good. The jokes that he told was really, really funny. You want to say that the accent was a stereotype? Sure, I'll get with that. All right. But his dialogue was still really, really funny. All right. There was great writing, man. Just good writing in that show. The jokes, the the sexual innuendos from a robot. All right. Nice software, It's so crazy. It's good stuff, man. Anyway, now that I've got everything working on our side, we'll probably be doing some more movie nights because the big reason that I wanted to tinker with it today, Matters, is because I wanted to run it from the computer, but not sit in front of the computer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to sit here and watch a movie. So I started the movie, and then I was able to go and eat some, speaking of stereotypes, I went and ate some rice. I just went and ate some sushi rice. I just had a bowl of white rice and soy sauce. That's what I ate for lunch today. So, excuse me. So yeah, I started the movie, and then I went inside, and then I watched from the Oliver account, which is why I was hearing the sounds. All right, that's why I was hearing the sounds, and it was driving me nuts. Anyway, listen, appreciate. Yes, Johnny Five. Johnny Five is in the chat. I saw you hop in the audience. We've actually got a member of our community, and by the way, he doesn't change his name for this. His username in our community has been Johnny Five for the 4 or 5 years that you've been a member of our community. He's Johnny Five. He's on server 31. He says, saw you streaming my movie. Couldn't pop in very long, though, but thanks for the residuals. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Johnny Five is alive. And it's just good stuff, man. So great. Oh, server 44. I thought you were on 31 because of your name. Sorry about that. All right. Server 44. Anyway. Welcome in, everybody. Listen, we've got a lot to talk about. We did a lot of dissecting of information yesterday. Spectre, thank you for your 28-month DJ-versary. Thank you so very much. Appreciate that. All right. Silvertab says, I want to figure out if I can stream movie night to my TV, but still be in chat on my phone or PC. PC, yes. Phone, I don't think so. Again, the Discord mobile app sucks. Okay, just sucks. But I do think that you can do it on PC. So I was able to be on a different laptop and was in the movie chat and was able to chat without joining the stream. So you can do that, but I don't think you can do it on mobile. I guess unless you do what Riskbreaker says and do the and use the browser version, which you probably could do. All right.
What's he want to do? He wants to join the movie chat, but not watch the movie.
No. He wants to cast the movie up to his TV, not watch it on his phone. But then he wants to cast it on his TV, but then still be able to chat. All right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
From his phone. He wants to cast it to his. Yeah, that might not work. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, I would think that you would cast it. But here's the thing. If you're casting from your mobile, you're still going to hear all the annoying sounds, which is terrible.
Yeah.
So you'd be better off casting from your laptop. Because at least with PC, you can turn all the sounds off. Anyway, okay. Listen, I received a message today asking me playfully if I referred to the ship as the GS-31, to which I had to answer. I think that might have. I think somebody might have mentioned that. I think someone mentioned it. Not.
And down came the stream.
So you guys noticed that that the stream was offline for about an hour today. I did have to. That's right. Broken Wolf mentioned it yesterday. I had to take it down just for a minute. I had to fix something, and then I put it back up. But long story short, what we learned yesterday from Beck's video, which was fantastic. As a matter of fact, I was going to do this for the podcast audience, specifically for Scalyback. I am going to play Beck's video for you right now. Okay, I'm going to play Beck's video. That way, you've got the audio. All right, except this time, crazy, I'm not going to interrupt it because we did all that yesterday. We interrupted it all day yesterday. It was 3. How long did it take us to go through the video? 3 hours? Pretty much like 3 hours, yeah. Okay? So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull this thing up here today. We're going to play it in podcast form. But I'm not going to interrupt it. And then we're going to isolate and identify everything that we talked about and give you the hints, the specific information, some of the research, and what we do know about elite solo wave defense. Wristbreaker says, you won't last 2 minutes. Watch me. Okay? Watch me. Here it comes.
Greetings, Commanders! Our next update is right around the corner, and today is Preview Day. Today, we're taking a sneak peek look at the latest ship coming to Star Trek Fleet Command, the GS-31. Before we get started, make sure you leave a comment below letting us know what server you're hailing from. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to this channel to stay updated on the latest features, events, and sneak peeks coming your way. We have a lot in store for you, so let's get right into it. This powerful Grade 4 interceptor is built to dominate Apex Raider hostiles and beyond. Whether you're tangled up in Section 31's secretive operations or simply looking to upgrade your fleet, the GS-31 will be your next tactical advantage. The GS-31's primary ability is Gravitational Blast, a devastating beam that deals direct hull damage and can split to strike additional non-Armada targets in the same system. It also inflicts the weakened status on enemies, leaving them vulnerable to follow-up attacks. Through upgrade tiers and specialized research, you'll increase Gravitational Blast damage, expand its number of bonus targets, and amplify your advantage over weakened targets. Whether you're facing rival commanders or non-Armada hostiles, this ability keeps you one step ahead. Beyond its signature blast, the GS-31 is equipped with 2 passives, Apex Shred and Marked for Disposal. These abilities let you tear through Apex Raider hostiles by shredding their Apex barrier and boosting your base damage. If you're looking for pure combat prowess, the GS-31 delivers. To unlock the GS-31's full potential, we'll be introducing new research options. You can expand your warp range and hazard resistance, enhance Gravitational Blast damage and number of targets, and increase Apex Shred, boost critical chance and critical damage, and improve your Apex barrier against weakened players. Plus, you'll enjoy cost efficiencies for repairs and material usage, especially on G4 and above ships. All of this ensures your new interceptor stays versatile and deadly. The GS-31 Refinery offers the best source for ship parts of every type: Explorer, Interceptor, Battleship, and Survey. You'll find the GS-31 Strongbox filled with parts to upgrade your new vessel and covert modifications to unlock fresh research. You can even grab GS-31 recycle tokens to exchange for more ship parts. The GS-31 also helps with acquiring top-tier officers like S-31 Georgiou, Rachel Garrett, Zeph, Enterprise E. Riker, or SNW Una for a powerful edge in any encounter. Looking for a challenge? Try using the GS-31 in the new Elite Solo Wave Defense mode. Oops, spoilers! Face off against Orion Prowlers and Syndicate Reavers who bring formidable abilities and fast impulse speeds. Wield Gravitational Blast to crush entire waves of hostiles. Winning big yields Section 31 access keys and GS-31 recon data needed for further upgrades. That's your sneak peek into the GS-31, your key to the best ship parts in Star Trek Fleet Command. Make sure to check our official patch notes on release day for more information about this exciting new encounter. Before you go, don't forget to leave a comment telling us what you think about the new ship, and join our official Discord to get plugged into our awesome Star Trek Fleet Command community. Until next time, Commanders, live long and prosper.
I did not walk away. I just made a promise. Okay? That's what happened right there. Okay? I didn't leave. I said I was going to let it play all the way through. Okay? And the reason for that is that we already broke this thing down yesterday. Okay? We broke this thing down. So here's what I'm going to do here today, Matters, is we're going to go back through this thing, and I am going to go basically myself frame by frame on this ship, or frame by frame on this video, like backstage, and I'm going to tell you everything that we discussed yesterday, everything that we know that we learned yesterday, not only from Beck's video, but in the conversation that we had, in some of the code that we looked up, and in some of the playtest footage that that I examined. Then we're going to be able to answer a lot of these questions. First, though, I would like to remind everybody that !Amazon works in our Twitch chat. !Amazon or /Amazon works in our Discord chat for you to find a link for you to do all of your everyday shopping through Amazon.com. When you click that link, you actually support our channel, and you get to pay us a commission. All right, it doesn't change your price, but all of your normal everyday shopping that you do through Amazon, you will be able to support our channel. Use !Amazon or /Amazon in the Discord chat to buy things like dog food and clothes and groceries, or maybe your very own case of Welch's Grape Ghost Energy with all of the focus, none of the sugar, all of the energy, and 200 milligrams of caffeine for a smooth, focused, laser-focused energy that's not going to leave you crashing at the end. Use !Amazon to go and buy your Welch's Grape Ghost Energy and support Talking Trek today. Boom! And now I'm going to pop open my own. Let me tell you something. I'm very excited, Matters, to actually get back because I drank the blue one yesterday during stream. Then I drank Red Berry last night during Studio B. I still got to tell you, grape is still my favorite.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good to know.
Oh, man.
Once they make their way up here to Canada, I'll know which one to get.
Grape is good. Thought I wanted to sleep. I mean, I do, but I still have some work to do. Anyway, all right, let's talk about it, man. So the GS-31, codenamed GS-31 / the Junker. All right. First of all, question number 1 in the chat that I see. Loston, thank you for your tier 3. Yo! Thank you, Loston. Appreciate that. $50 tech. Thanks for the follow. Welcome into the channel. My name is DJ. We're talking about Star Trek Fleet Command. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so very much. Tarpy says the cherry limeade isn't bad. I have one of those. Haven't drank it yet. All right. Haven't drank that one yet. So, Thumbelina says, I prefer Swedish fish. I have that one, but I haven't tried it yet either. All right, so GS-31. Spock, thanks for the tier 3. My gosh. You guys are so sweet today. My goodness gracious. Thank you. There's nothing to say but thank you. You guys are also wonderfully generous. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Okay, GS-31. Stands for garbage scowl. Don't let anybody else be fooling you, okay? It's not garbage. It's not actually GS-31, although that's what I'm going to call it. It's GS for garbage scowl, which, by the way, was in the Section 31 movie. This is lore. It was in the movie. It was called the scowl. That's what it is. Nobody has any reason to come up with any other names like the Junker. We wouldn't call it the Junker. Why would we call it the Junker? It's the GS-31. All right. also known as the Junker. Okay. That being said, this ship is coming out. Why is it an interceptor? Can't honestly tell you. I think that it's probably an interceptor just because we were due an interceptor when it came to specialty ships. Maybe. All right.
I thought next one was supposed to be a battleship.
Well, I don't know. All right. You got to remember, too, though, the ship has been in design for many, many months. All right. Didn't the ship in the movie lack weapons? It didn't have a whole lot. So I get what you're saying. I don't know that it fits with our game's expectations of an interceptor, but it does have a great degree of combat ability, which we're going to talk about coming up, especially within wave defense. And eventually, it's going to be very, very usable as a regular hostile grinding ship. All right, especially with the cutting beam, or I shouldn't say, they're calling it the gravitational blast, which is essentially, matters, a new cutting beam. All right. It is a direct damage pulse that takes damage and strips it directly away from hull. Does that sound familiar? Anybody?
Cutting beam.
That's a cutting beam. Okay. It's a cutting beam on a new ship. All right. It is the gravitational blast, except this cutting beam is actually kind of cool. All right. Because this cutting beam can be split. It can actually attack multiple targets at the exact same time, at least in PvE. Okay. It's not going to do so in PvP. All right. In PvP, it will still have the direct shot. Okay. But only one target at a time. All right. But when it comes to PvE, you're going to have an opportunity to hit as many as 5 targets, depending on where you are and what your research is. I say as many as 5 because the ship will start at 3. Okay? The ship will start at 3. No research necessary. You just unlock the ship. Now you can hit 3 targets at the exact same time, no matter where you are, even if you're grinding up in hostile space, if you're doing faction hunt, whatever you're doing. Okay? It'll hit 3 hostiles. However, there will be an additional research that is free to play, that is grindable, that will be earned by participating in the new Elite Solo Wave Defense, where you will be able to add 2 more hostiles when you're in that wave defense. Okay? You know, Lost In has a really interesting question, and actually I saw this earlier in a VIP chat as well, Lost In. He says, will it break arenas? I'm going to tell you why I don't think so. Okay? You're directive capped. Are you going to be able to come in and beam a hostile right away? Sure. But you're already doing that with a speed crew. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're already coming in, you're going straight for that cruiser. All right? You are directive capped, which in arenas, which means you can't earn more than 100 directives for the solo start anyway. Do I think this will be a slight advantage that might give you 3 to 4 seconds of advantage when you first go into it? Sure. Do I think it's going to break arenas? Absolutely not. Okay? I do not know. But I don't think so. All right.
I thought he meant like in a technical sense.
Interceptors are rarely the problem anyway. It's usually battleships, specifically the Cube.
Well, I mean, the Cube we have a lot of issues with, and it's got a cutting beam. We saw issues with the Mantis, and it's got a debuff attack.
But you know what? The Titan doesn't have the problem. Cerritos doesn't have the problem. Even the Protector doesn't really have the problem. So, and Venadia says it can stop others from getting directives. Well, I mean, yeah, but killing the hostiles would do that anyway. You see what I'm saying? And there's always going to be respawns. I mean, as soon as you kill hostiles, more hostiles show up. There's never a shortage of hostiles. So I'm not entirely sure that this is going to be as game-breaking as people think it's going to be. I don't even think people think it's going to be game-breaking. I think people may be concerned about how it works. I got to be honest with you. I'm more concerned about its interaction with Kirshar than I'm anything else. All right. Yo, Spock, 15 months, tier 3. Thank you. And no, Lost In, I don't think that's a goofy question at all. I don't think that's a goofy question at all. I've actually seen from everybody who watched the stream yesterday, I've seen a lot of conversation. I've seen a lot of chatter today, which, by the way, thank you for everybody for sharing the content and all that stuff. I had a lot of people ask when we had to take it down. It is back up. It's on YouTube now. But a lot of people were really doing a lot of conversation and a lot of debate about this thing. I think it's great. All right. And matters really at the end of the day, when I kind of summarize my anticipation for the month of April, I feel the same way as I did in March. You know what I'm saying? I feel the same way as I did in March, where there's a couple of things I might not like, but overall, the general direction of the tech and the feature and the gameplay, I kind of like it. And I maintain that for April. The Elite Solo Waves, which we're going to talk about, is a very cool concept. They're very difficult. The GS-31 is definitely going to help, but it's not required. And I think that is cool game design. You know what I'm saying? We've seen these kinds of things before, and it's not super often that Scopely gets a piece of game design really, really right. But I feel like the GS-31 might be one of their better releases in a while. We'll see how it rolls. Okay. So, but I do like everything I saw. I like the play test. I like the time to tier. Voltron says, how long to tier up for G5 and G6 players? I like the time to tier. I like the fact, and we're going to talk about this, we've got an actual true acceleration pack. For those of you who are going to buy and engage, you're not going to be looking at thousands of dollars to make the ship usable. All right? I think that is really good. So, there's a lot to enjoy. There's a lot to look forward to about this month's design and Arc Runner that I'm looking forward to being able to play with you guys and share. So, the GS-31 is an interceptor. It starts as a G4 ship, and you'll be able to build this thing. You will, if I'm not mistaken, please do not hold this against me. I cannot find evidence of it in my notes, but I know that I would have asked, and I know that I wasn't fighting this. I even went back into my dev chat notes, and I would have thought this if I had any evidence that it was not sourcing on day one. I cannot find any evidence, but I also can't find where I specifically wrote it down. I am going to assume that given my development meeting, I wasn't pissed about it. Does that make sense, Matters? Like, if I was pissed about it, I would have written about it. You know what I'm saying? And I can't find anything that says that I was upset about the sourcing. And that's always a question that I ask. So I am going to presume with 98% certainty that there will be, you will be able to start earning blueprints early. There is an obvious gap there for me to be wrong, but that would have to be a really huge lapse on my part, Matters, because I always ask that question, right? And I had no notes on it. I don't see any complaints in my write-up. I don't see any issues in my feedback reports. I read all of them. I don't see any issues there. So I have to assume that we are going to see that refinery. Now, interestingly, I do not know how they're going to source those blueprints, but I have a theory, Matters. You were here yesterday. You watched a lot of this stuff. Here's what I believe. What I believe is that it's going to show up in the Section 31 store. Simple. And I think it's going to use solo wave defense credits. That is my belief.
Also makes sense.
I believe that it'll probably be, Scalyback says, between 90 and 100 days. That is what I also believe. All right? Because, again, if it was different, I would have complained. All right. Daystro says, I thought you said solo wave credits for ship BPs yesterday. I said that I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. But again, I do not have confirmation on that, Daystros, but I'm 99% sure that's what it is. And I'll tell you why. The new Elite Solo Wave Defense pays the same rewards. The new Elite Solo Wave Defense uses the same directives. Okay? Same directives. Same rewards, just more of them.
I'm glad I have a lot of those.
What, a lot of the directives?
I mean.
Now, Count DeVille says the same directives is terrible. I'm going to tell you why I disagree with that, Count DeVille.
It's the same rewards.
It's the same rewards. It's just more of them. You don't have to do elite and regular. You can do one or the other. Pick one, okay? If you do the elite one, then you will be able to not do the other ones. All right? If you do the elite one, you're going to get more rewards and have to do them even less. Okay? Now, here's the thing. They say it's great if they give us access to more directives than one every 3 days. That will remain the refinery. That will remain the refinery issue, is one every 3 days. However, they will be doing gift chest dumps this month just like they did last month. Okay? Now, I can't read this. Alpaca says you can only get more rewards if you can beat them. Well, I mean, debatable. Depends. And we are going to have a matrix to share with you. We talked about that yesterday, Matters. For example, if you were comparing wave for wave, let's say a G5 Wave 3 Elite is going to pay more than a G5 Wave 3 regular, obviously. If you can only make it to Wave 3 in an Elite, but you can clear a G5 regular, guess what? Go back and do the regular. Get more rewards. Okay? There is going to be a matrix. But let's say, for example, you could complete Wave 4 of the Elite. Even though you could clear Wave 5 of the regular, you'd still be better off to do Wave 4 of the Elite. Does that make sense? Okay? So we're going to make a matrix for you. We are going to make a chart. Jules is already in progress. We're going to make a chart for you so you can see all the rewards and know exactly where you need to be based on your capabilities. Okay? Is the new ship going to be required for the elites? Pixelate? No. It's certainly going to be very helpful. Okay? But it's not required because the benefit of this ship in the elites is the gravitational blast beam. Okay? Now, the reason that the elites are so much more challenging, the hostiles are a little bit more powerful, Matters, but there's also more of them, and they're faster. Okay? So that's where the gravitational beam really comes in handy. When you start to feel yourself being overwhelmed, this is essentially like, the Genesis device in a system. You press a button and it kills a bunch of hostiles all instantaneously. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is potentially why this ship is going to be very, very convenient. It's not because of its strength, although it will hold up. All right. Will the cutting beam from the Borg cube still be disabled? Yes. And now you know why. Makes sense now, doesn't it? All right. The GS-31 will be the Elite Solar Wave Defense ship. All right. Now, when will the GS-13 make it worth it for G6? So here's you guys are skipping ahead a little bit, but I love the questions, and I'll answer, okay? They are recommending Tier 10 of the ship for it to become useful for G6. And I would imagine that that's going to be starting out G6, all right? It's a 15-tier ship, isn't it, Matters? Isn't that what these specialties are going up to, is Tier 15 these days? Yeah.
These days.
Yeah, so it's a Tier 15 ship. Tier 10 is where it'll start to become useful for G6. Tier 5 is where it'll start to become useful for G5. And guess what? Straight out of the daggone box, it'll be useful for G4. Joker says Tier 10, so at least a year. Well, we have not mapped out the free-to-play path on this yet, Joker. Okay? We don't have enough data for that. What we do know is that's right, Pixelate, a few $1,000s. That's what the whales always say. That's what the VIPs expect. A couple $1,000s to make it useful. Spartan says it'll be a little bit less, maybe $800, $1,000. I'm here to tell you that Scopely has been listening to this. At least they've been hearing it. They have not actioned on it up until this point. But this month, we are seeing a true effort, one that has been appreciated, or at least signed off. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you the true story. I still thought that the VIPs and whales would not be happy with this model, but the VIPs and whales that were consulted all said they were very, very happy with this model. If you buy the ship, that's $100, obviously, okay, or we assume it is, all right? But I can tell you right now, to upgrade the ship to Tier 5, so to make it usable for a G5 player, will only be $100. One pack. If you want to take it to Tier 10, it will be a total of, what did I say yesterday? 6 packs? Now I got to go back and check my notes again.
I missed it.
Hold on.
I was late getting on. You might have said it before I got there.
No, total, it was 6 more packs. 6 more packs. So from Tier 6 to Tier 10 was a total of 6. purchases of the 2x upgrade tour pack for GS-31. So, if you're going to buy the ship, you could make this thing G6 ready for $700. Now, Neon says no, and Pixelate says no, and I get that. A lot of people are going to say no, okay? A lot of people are going to say no. But the people who max the ship, the people who spend to max ships when they come out, like, they spend thousands of dollars, guys. Look what, do you guys not remember what Griffin did on the stream with the Revenant?
Yeah.
We stopped him at like $1,600, and he didn't even max the ship. Okay? So, Shazo says they cut the price by 20%. I think it's more than that based on what the whales have reported. But nonetheless, all right, it is a better... Listen, you can't expect them not to try to make money on it, but the fact that they did make it cheaper is great. Okay? That's right. Junior says he dropped almost $2,000 in 8 minutes. Yeah. Look, Dallas Spartan says, I think I'm kind of okay with this model. Call me crazy, but it's better than it's been. Okay? Now, here's the big question. One that I can't answer for you. Rocky Mountain says, as an Op 70, do I actually need the ship? That's the big question. All the whales are asking that question. The VIPs are asking that question. Do you even need the ship? I got to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm not playing with a level 70 epic. I don't know if you guys are going to cut through these elite waves or not. I'll tell you this. They beat my butt, but I'm squishy. Okay? I tried to play a G6 Elite, and I cleared 2 waves. 2. Okay? And in the 3rd wave, I did not defeat a single hostile. Like, I even ran all 3 ships into the same hostile, and it made quick work of me. Now, I was using mostly G5 epics and 1 G6 rare. Okay? G6 epics are a totally different beast. Okay? That's been the question. Are they going to be strong enough for me not to have to use impulse? Maybe you can throw an impulse ship on a couple of level G670, level 70 ships and be fine. Don't know. Okay? But then there's also the matter of the refinery that this ship is going to give, which we'll talk a little bit more about a little bit later. Voltron says, was I boosted? When I ran mine, yes, I was. Okay? Cruzito says I have weak ships, so that doesn't say much. I mean, yes, I was running with G5 epics against the G6 Elite. All right? I did not do well. And that's why I'm saying I would imagine that level 70 epics are going to do better. But I can't say whether or not you're going to need the ship or not. Okay? It also could be a matter of swarm mechanics. The number of hostiles will be more, and they are faster. So how quick can you whip around the system? You see what I'm saying? I don't know. This is going to be dependent on your gameplay. Okay? It's going to be dependent on your gameplay.
Previous solos, you can't beat this one with a single G5 or G6 epic.
No.
You will need 3.
You would probably need multiples.
Well, you'll need 3 ships. Yeah.
Okay.
Can't beat these ones with 1 ship. With the speed crew.
Mimi, it's okay. Cruzito likes to give me grief for being weak sauce because I always lose in PvP. It's fine. All right. Mimi's standing up for me in chat. Thank you, Mimi. I love you too. Cruzito, quit being a bully. All right. but nonetheless, it depends, Rocky Mountain. I'm not going to be able to answer that for you because I don't know what it's like to fly your ships. And I couldn't make it. Right? During the playtest, I could not make it to the final wave. I couldn't. All right? So I had to drop down. That being said, circling back, I like the fact that it is the same directive because inherently, guys, that will limit my screen time. Okay? And the fact that they're paying more rewards out of the elites is a good thing. I will also point out that aside from the event, all right, you guys remember the alpha, beta, gamma event or whatever we had last month? Yeah. A lot of people didn't like those. outside of that event, there was no penalty for punching down. We actually recommended it. You guys remember? We actually did the same thing that Jules is going to do again this month, and he made that matrix chart. And he said, listen, if you can't clear a G5, but you can clear a G4, I mean, as in, like, if let's say you could clear wave 4 of the G5, but you could clear all of the G4 one, well, then go do the G4 one. Or whatever it was. Maybe it was the G6, the G5. Anyway, there wasn't a penalty for punching down because you could actually earn more rewards. Okay? This is going to be the exact same thing outside of that alpha event. And yes, I'm here to tell you, that's going to be a challenge. They made no modifications to that event. Okay? There's no modifications on that. So if you're a 60 or a 61, sorry, I did try. I did actually argue that point. There's not going to be any fix on that. Count DeVille says they need, there you go. They need to fix the SMS expectations. I'm telling you right now, your expectations are to not change. All right? They are what they are. Okay? But outside of the event, you are fine to punch down. Okay? Now, Danny says we're mad that we have to get it to tier 10 to be useful. Danny. What ship do you not have to tier up to be useful for G6? Yeah, that's not ever a thing. You're never going to have be a late G6 player and have a new ship that comes out and kicks ass at tier 2. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Until they come out with a ship that you can't build until G6, it's not going to be good until you tier it up.
Yeah.
If you're a G6.
So I get that mentality, but a lot of players that we have spoken to and surveyed about this mechanic, they are actually pleased. They say this will save money. And I got to be honest with you. The better spot is not for G6. Okay? The better spot is the G5 players. All right? Because $100 to unlock the ship and $100 to make it useful to you is better than you have ever seen before. G5 have it better than anybody. They got it better than G4. They got it better than G6. Okay? $100 instantly takes it to a point where it is very valuable in elite solo wave defense. And by the way, when I play tested with a tier 4, then a tier 5, then a tier 6. And I documented my progress each way. Tier 5 is extremely capable. Extremely capable. Okay? Now, Hal says, how long to tier it? Really good question. I don't have the chart, but I did, yesterday matters, and Tarpy knows, yesterday we did look at some of the rewards. We looked at some of the costs of the tier and some of the research. Okay? Did not seem to be expensive compared to what we were earning. Further, we were talking about directives, right? Still only one every 3 days, which we are expecting a dump this month. All right? So, I'm told that we're going to expect that again. But outside of the event, used the ship. So I did use the ship. So in my gameplay, the equivalent would have been spending $200, okay? Because I had the ship and I had it at tier 5. All right, so let's just get that disclaimer out of the way. The comparative position of me playing would have been spending $100 on upgrade and $100 on the ship. But that being said, when I went through, I was able to clear a G5 elite solo wave defense, all 5 waves. Okay? All 5 waves paid enough currency to max the refinery for 6 or 7 days? God, I can't remember now. Crap. Was it 5 days? Tarpy! Can't remember. It was multiple days. It was either 5 or 6 days. I don't remember. 5 days, says Mimi. Thank you, Mimi. 5 days. So if I cleared it, it was enough to fuel the refinery. A max pull in the refinery, by the way. Not a single pull, but a max pull for 5 days. And that is true. I cleared it. Okay, that was if I cleared the G5, Vic. Okay, if I didn't clear it, well, then maybe I only earned enough currency to clear the refinery for 3 days. Or maybe I did enough for 2 days of double and 1 day single. Okay, the point is, no, and it did not change with ops. Okay, the cost in the refinery stayed the same, Cruzito. I was going to tell you, it was $250 for a single, $500 for a double of these elite credits. They're calling them what were they called? They were like a GS-31 token or whatever. Okay, and it was the same, and it stayed the same by tier. The recon data. Thank you, Spectre. All right, that's what I'm saying. It was actually really nice because it didn't penalize progression. It still awarded partial progression. And listen, even participating in this thing, I mean, you got to clear one wave. Let me tell you this, okay? Let me tell you this. If you only cleared one wave, you still had enough to do 2 single days worth of refund. And that's one wave, guys. One. Okay? If you cleared 2 waves, then, again, I don't remember the exact math. Is the refinery open without the ship? No. Got to have the ship. All right. So, Lawston says it sounds relatively well coded. It felt good. That's what I'm saying. It felt good. All right. It did not feel bad when I was going through and playing this thing. And I looked at everything. I looked at as much as I could. The research, for example. You guys are remembering. Spectre probably has notes. You guys probably have the numbers better than I did. How many research particles could you earn out of a double pull? I think it was like 600 or 700. Some of the early level 1 research cost 100 particles, 150 particles. So some of the research you're going to be able to knock out pretty daggone quick. All right. Building ship parts. I believe very loosely, if you bought the ship, very loose math, you're looking at tier 5 within 20 days. 21 days, I believe. Help me.
Not bad.
No, that's not right. I think it was roughly 30 days because tier 4 to tier 5 was only 13 days. Tier 4 to tier 5 was only 13 days. So assuming tier 1 to tier 4 might be 10 or 12 days, then you're right there at about 20, 25 days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I feel comfortable saying that if you fully engage 30 days, you'll be at tier 5 natively. That's not bad. And I'm telling you, the ship is very functional at that tier 5 point. So what does it do? Let's talk about the ship. I didn't cover the upgrade timeline. No, Mimi, I didn't cover the upgrade timeline in detail because I don't have all the data. The only thing I did was sum the total parts from tier 4 to get to tier 5. And then I looked at the tier 4 refinery, how many parts I was getting. Okay? So, and based on that, based on the number of parts I can get in the tier 4 refinery, going from tier 4 to tier 5 was only 13 days. Okay? And yes, Cruzito, after you spend $100 for the ship unlock, one $100 upgrade pack will take you to tier 5. So for a G5 player, you're talking $200 for great usability and a superb head start. Superb head start. All right. And I got to be honest with you. For me, I mean, I'm a G6 player, but I am technically, as Cruzito will laugh and poke at me, I'm kind of still a G5 player as far as my ships go. All right. I'm kind of still a G5 player. My ships are G5. I've got a tier 6 VLOX, and it's a little squishy. I mean, it's starting to come into its own. Cruzito agrees. He says, really truthfully, no offense, but you kind of are an advanced G5 player. I kind of agree with that statement. I feel like I'm very strong for a G5. I'm absolutely not competitive with any G6 player. Okay? Tier 5 was enough for me. Tier 5 was enough for me. It let me clear a G5 elite solo wave defense for maximum rewards. Guru, that's actually a really funny thing. He says, why am I playing a mobile game where $200 is considered a good deal? Welcome to Fleet Command.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we are. So let's talk about this ship. Let's talk about this ship here, if you don't mind, okay? Gravitational blast. It's going to fire a deadly beam that does direct hull damage and then applies a weakened status to players and non-Armada hostiles. If the target is a non-Armada hostile, then the beam can split to hit additional non-Armada hostiles in the system. First of all, a couple of things. A, you're going to get 3 hostiles just by unlocking the ship, okay? 3 hostiles. Whether you're in a wave defense or you're just out in normal PvE land, you get 3 hostiles if you activate the beam. The beam costs no juice, okay? You don't have to unlock it. It costs no currency. And the cooldown is roughly 6 minutes. What's not to love? Okay? Now, how does it choose your 3 targets? It will choose the 1 target that you select and then the 2 closest to you, or to it, to the hostile that you chose. Okay? So if you've got a hostile here and a hostile here and a hostile here and a hostile way up here, and you choose this hostile, it's going to hit this one, and this one. Don't worry, podcast audience. If you're thinking, I just realized how stupid that was, because even the people on video right now are like, what the hell is he pointing at? Don't ignore that. Ignore the last 30 seconds. Brett says, don't worry, podcast audience. The visuals absolutely did not help at all. That was the lamest thing that I've done all week. I apologize. So it Loston says, we actually understood it as well as the podcast audience. Nothing lost there. Sorry, guys. My fault. I'm so sorry. That was hilarious. In other words, it will choose the 2 hostiles closest to the one that you chose. Okay? God, that was ridiculous, Matters. Thanks for saving me on that one. It will not target armadas.
Let you walk right into it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. It will not target armadas, and you will be able to use this cutting beam against players, but it will not split. It'll be 1 player. There is research that will determine how strong that beam is, and the research is different from PvE as compared to PvP. I will tell you that based on early playtest numbers, and I do not know if this is finalized, the value in the cutting beam in PvP is not there. Okay? More value, and this is, again, I like this, more value is in this weakened status than it is in the beam. As a matter of fact, the beam maxes at 50 million. It maxes at 50 million. I am not aware of a tax on this beam, but does there need to be one if it maxes at 50 million? The benefit of using it in PvP is the weakened status. Okay? The status is kind of like what we've seen with charged and static. They're doing more with these effects now. Okay? Because the status, the weakened status, actually doesn't even do a heck of a lot to them. Okay? It does lower their crit damage. It does lower their crit chance. But it also boosts a lot of things that you have. All right? It boosts your crit, boosts your shred, boost your barrier, boost your crit damage, boost your crit chance. All right? Benny Hill says, is it like getting stung? Kind of. Except it boosts you more than it takes them down. So if you were going to hit somebody and they had the weakened status, your research is going to depend. So for example, if I was going to beam somebody that then one of my teammates was going to come and fight, if my teammate doesn't have any of his research done, he gets no effect from the weakened state. Does that make sense? Make sense?
Yeah.
Mimi says it does also boost your shred. Okay, I couldn't remember. I didn't want to say that. But again, I don't have all that stuff. What we did yesterday, guys, honestly, what we did yesterday is way more detailed than I've got for you today. Today, I wanted to summarize it. All right. Mimi probably knows more about the ship than I do because she watched the whole thing yesterday. Thank you for the hydrate. How long does the weakened state last? Again, is also only a couple of minutes. All right. Now, there is tearing up the ship. Tearing up the ship will reduce the cooldown of the gravitational blast. Somebody said a moment ago, if it's only once every 6 minutes, you can only do it once per wave. That's correct at the early tiers. But as you tier it up, the cooldown shrinks. Now, obviously, we're talking tier 15. At max tier, it's like 55 seconds. At max tier. Okay? I am not summarizing with visuals, Lustin, because I didn't make any visuals. I don't have any visuals to share with you. All right? The visuals are the stream from yesterday. If you want the visuals, go watch the stream. I have no visuals for you. And when I try to do visuals, apparently it doesn't work out very well. All right? Cruzito says, so once or twice for an arena. I'd say once or twice for a solo wave defense. Okay? Once or twice for a solo wave defense, depending on when you use it and how long and what your cooldown is. I can tell you at tier 5, I believe my cooldown was still something like 4 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that, 4 minutes and 12 seconds. So pretty much still one use, because you don't need it in wave 1. You don't need it in wave 1. And if you use it in wave 4, you're certainly not going to get to use it in wave 5. So my strategy on this was to wait until I had to use it, which for me was wave 5 because there were so daggone many and so many of them were fast. Okay. Does the weapon work outside of waves? Yes. If so, is there a drop-off in power? No. But there is a drop-off in effectiveness. It will only work against 3 hostiles outside of waves. It'll work for 5 hostiles inside waves. With the research, that is. Okay? With the research.
And some of what it does is, like the Apex Shred, is specifically geared to help fighting the wave hostiles. It's not going to help you anywhere outside of wave defense.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because none of those hostile, no other hostile has barrier. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. Johnny 5 says, is there a refractory period after the blast? You're going to have to define that. Sorry, I do not know the science of your question. You're going to have to ask that in a different way because I don't know what your actual question is. All right, I apologize. I'm sorry. Sorry, I know that's silly. All right, coming back in, I'm looking at what? The cooldown?
I had to look it up.
What is that? A refractory period? A cooldown? I just said the cooldown's like cooldown's anywhere between a minute and 6 minutes.
I don't think you want me to read the definition.
The refractory period is a cooldown. Okay, so yeah, between 1 and 6 minutes. Okay, between 1 and 6 minutes. Let me say thank you to McDougal. Thank you for your 26-month resub. Appreciate that. That Aardvark guy popping in with a tier 3. Yo, thank you. Thank you very much. On the same hostile.
I just DM'd you the definition. Do with it what you will.
I'm not. Seriously, that's right, that's the definition.
That's what that is.
Are you serious? Johnny
Apparently.
5. Why would you ask me such a question? In that case, it's much longer than 5 minutes. Anyway. Anywho. Okay, now it is a medical term. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go cooldown. All right. No, I didn't know the definition. I'm not a smart guy. I mean, I am a smart guy. I just don't know about that. Okay, anyway, listen. Continuing on. When you get the ship and you start earning this currency, you're going to go into the refinery. You are going to pull something called the GS-31 lockbox. Inside that lockbox will contain research particles, ship parts, and a parts token for the parts refinery, all right? And I'm going to explain this here in a second. The reason that I feel like, okay, you know in the temporal store now how they've got the one chest is one cost, but like for double the price, you get 4 chests. It's actually very anti-Scopely, right? We've talked about that before. They always punish progression. They never reward stretch goals, right? We know about that, right? You guys know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. They're doing it again, except not in the cost of the chest because it's same. All right, 250 of the credits to unlock 1 chest of the lockbox, 500 to do 2 chests of the lockbox. But inside each pull comes 100. I don't even remember what they're called. 100 parts refinery tokens, whatever you want to call them. Well, it will cost 200 parts refinery tokens to do a chest pull in the new GS-31 parts refinery. Basically meaning you have to do the double pull if you want to pull of parts every single day. If you do the single pull, then you'll get a parts pull every 2 days. Okay? So that is very important. That is very important. You're definitely going to want to do the double pulls in the lockbox because a double pull gives you 1 pull in the parts refinery. The parts refinery is nice. Okay? For G6 players, it includes G4 and G5 at all the pulls. So that includes rare, uncommon, everything, all the way down through G4, which, by the way, is great. That means on unlocking the ship, a G6 player will receive G5 rare parts. Tier 1. How great is that? I am very happy about that. Tier 1, and this, by the way, is for a G6 player, okay? It's for a G6 player because, by the way, if you're a G5 player, you're not going to get rare parts at Tier 1. They have scaled this entire refinery not only to be reflective of your grade, but also reflective of the tier of the ship. So as a G6 player, I start getting G6 rare parts. Anybody want to guess what tier? It's going to be better than you expect. What would you think? Tier 10? Tier 8?
5?
Try tier 4.
Woo, even better. Oh my God.
Tier 4, as a G6 player, I start earning G6 rare parts. Now, it's not a ton. Okay, it's not a ton. But over the course of an entire month, I'm told that it will be the rough ballpark equivalent of a couple $100 in parts. Okay. Wow. Okay. To me, that sounds an awful lot like a treasury that I might be able to pull every month. That's right, Spartan. Tier 4. Okay? And by the way,
sounds like anybody who ever spends on parts treasuries should probably spend the $200 to get the ship and get it up to tier 5.
I mean, that's probably my plan. All right. Now, Captain Jack says, I don't know, man. Anything less than G6 uncommon is trash to me. Well, the good news is if your G6, tier 1 starts paying uncommon. That's cool. Okay. Tier 4 starts paying G6 rare. And as you tier up inside that G6 evolution, then you start earning more and more and more and more. Okay. You guys started another hype train. McDougal, thank you. Lawson, thank you for your 5 gifted. Thank you very much. All right. So, even for a player like Captain Jack who says, listen, I don't need G5 rare, well, the G6 rare starts coming at tier 4. Okay? Not a bad spot. And again, it's not a ton at tier 4, but as you go up, you're going to get more and more and more. Okay? How much is more? At what point will it be good for G6? I mean, you got to be honest with you, Cruzito. Any G6 rare parts for me is good. All right. Now, I don't remember the number. Mimi, I'm going to rely on you. Mimi, I'm going to rely on you. Did I tell you the number on the Tier 4 G6 lockbox yesterday? How many rare parts were in it? Because I don't remember. I think it was like 115. I think, but I don't remember.
115?
I think. Does that sound right?
That's healthy.
Well, that was at Tier 4. Am I right, Mimi? I don't remember. I did show a still. I didn't take notes. Okay. I don't remember. Honestly, I don't. I'm sorry. Okay. I think it was 100, though.
That's not bad.
Loston says, oh, wait, you think Canine Tooth is right. The ship probably won't matter to level 70s. Well, Canine Tooth, I mean, what does matter to a level 70? I mean, what does matter? Do you need ship parts or you just buy ship parts? You don't need materials because you're not building anything. I mean, what do you need? Level 80 is what matters to a level 70. Got it. Not happening this month. Okay.
He needs to apply weakened state to other level 70s, which means it does matter.
Well, yeah. That's only if Canine Tooth dies in PvP. Canine Tooth, do you die in PvP? If you don't die in PvP, then maybe you don't need it.
Gotta be someone out there that can kill him.
I'm looking. Tarpy, what are you showing me? I posted Tier 3. Oh, I didn't post Tier 4 Refinery. Is that what you're saying? I thought I did. All right. Well, then the number may be wrong then. Okay? Number may be wrong. Because I'm pretty sure I didn't. That means I didn't have rare parts in it, right? So then I'm wrong. It could. Okay. Yeah, there was no rare G6 in the Tier 3 because it starts at Tier 4. So I don't know where the 100 came from. Forget me then. All right. Forget that.
Maybe that's the uncommon in the Tier 3.
I don't know. I don't honestly remember.
And that's what you're remembering.
Maybe it was G5 rare. Was it G5 rare, Tarpy?
Well, it could be it.
I don't know. Okay. Maybe it was G5 rare that was in that screenshot. I don't recall. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the research that's coming. Okay. Research, the multi-target gravitational blast. That's the research that will give you those 2 extra ships inside. Wave defense. By the way, it'll work for traditional waves as well as elites. You also have gravitational blast field, which is a multi-level research. Again, all this is grindable with the research currency that comes out of the lockbox. That will determine the strength of your beam. Okay? And we showed some of those numbers off yesterday in the stream, where we think the generational gaps will be. Again, all this stuff will be in a chart from Jules Verne when the ARC launches and not before. All right. But you're going to definitely want to focus on that research first. That research determines the strength of the cutting beam or the strength of the gravitational blast, which is very, very important. There is other research, including warp range. Broken Wolf, thanks for 5 gifted. Just randomly out of nowhere. You guys are amazing. And you're doing a hype train. Tarpy, look at this. All right. Thank you so much. That is crazy. And golly, look at everybody watching right now. Look at how many people. We got 385 people. What is up? 385 people. Yo! It's because of the leaks, isn't it? It's because of the leaks, all right? It's because of the leaks. There will also be research for ship repair efficiency, warp range to get that GS-31 up into deeper space so you can use it for your regular hostile killing. G4 plus material efficiency.
Wow. That's a big one right there. That's
you.
Impressively large.
G4 plus ship parts efficiency. You know why that's important to me? Now, some of the later G6 players will be like, don't get fooled, DJ. All right. But to me, writing is on the wall. Omicron, we have officially begun our in-game preparation for G7. You're absolutely 1,000% right. Here is now when we start seeing a bunch of efficiencies for G4, G5, and starting G6 a little bit. All right. That's right. We call it G7 prep. Okay? We call it G7 prep. We see multiple hundreds of % in parts and material efficiencies in these free-to-play researches. Okay? We see up to 500% base hazard resistance for the GS-31. This is why this ship will become viable for you to use in your dailies and for regular PvE. Okay? And then, of course, there are the PvP researches, which I didn't really look at because why? All right, no, I'm kidding. Critical chance, barrier, shred, critical damage, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? Riskbreaker says, is it G6 or is it just G6 plus? Because someone made a text error. It is G4 plus. G4 plus. And it is 4 with the plus sign. Okay? Now, this Indominus Prime says, so it's going to work on G7. Well, that's why I say some of these G6 folks are going to remember back when there used to be research that said G3 plus, and then they changed it to G3 through G5. You remember? Do you remember when they did that many years ago? This has been many years ago. Loston, thank you for another 6 gifted. Broken Wolf, thank you for 5 gifted. You guys are already into another level 4 hype train. Thank you guys so much. K92 says, you guys don't get crazy. G7 will have Sigma ship parts. You never know. All right, I don't know, but you might. All right, you never know. So just saying, I mean, there could be something. Some actually said G4, G5, and G6. This one says G4 plus. But if they do come out with Sigma parts, then obviously it won't. Okay. Daystro says, K92, don't forget about Epsilon resources. Yeah, you never know. Okay. The new Latinum conversion is going to be 100 million lat per day. I'm joking. That was a bad joke. All right. But here's what we know is that at least as of right now, these researches for materials and parts are G4 through G6. G4 plus, it says. Take a look at what they're doing with the G4 bonus refinery right now. A 30-day refinery with hundreds, a multiplier of 100x on their refinery pools. Guys, the writing is on the wall. G7's coming, and it's coming soon. Listen, we're in the month of April. I'd be willing to bet you see it before the end of the year. And I honestly, I mean, I'm not willing to bet money on it, but it follows the pattern. I bet we see it in October or November. Iron Chef, thank you. Thank you for the raid. What's up? Okay. That's right, Plugster. It's normally November, December. Yeah, I think you see it here in the next 6 months. Okay? And it's right on schedule. It's right on schedule. And what did they do? And that when they were leading up to G6, they started flooding the game with efficiencies, research, cost efficiencies, making it faster for you to get where you needed to be. Look at what they're doing with the G4 refinery. Let me ask any of you who are still camping in G3. Why? There is nothing for you to do in this game unless you're a new player. Okay? And I'm here to tell you, this time next year, we're going to be saying the same thing about G4.
Yeah.
This time next year, we're going to be saying the same thing about G4. Why are you staying at G4? You got to go to G5. Content is not being written for you. I mean, it's going to come. As a matter of fact, I determined yesterday that this was the right time for me to create a new player account. For those of you who were not on the stream yesterday, Matters, I did, in fact, create a brand new account, and I placed it somewhere, unbeknownst to anybody, except for those who were watching yesterday, somewhere hiding on some European server somewhere. I'm playing like Deckix did, never identifying a server number, except I did yesterday. And I'm going to play incognito somewhere on some random server where no one will ever find me. All right? And we're going to be making content for new players to fast track them along, to get them moving, to get them to level 45 within 10 months. By the way, I will tell you that Scopely, now granted, this is probably slightly ambitious, okay? But Scopely says that it is possible for me to be ops, I'm looking for it. Where is it? Here we go. Ops 15 within 7 days. Ops 15 within 7 days. Free to play. By the way, fun fact, okay? I'm going to show this to you guys. Fun fact. You know how we've all been screaming and we've been wanting Boldly Go? Guess what? It's available on brand new servers. It is the new player guide for brand new servers, which, by the way, is brilliant. I'm so happy with this. I logged in. I got through my tutorial. I started kind of tinkering a little bit. And to my pure joy and delight, I see Boldly Go. A 7-day event, the exact same way that we experienced it ourselves here several months ago. And it is the new player guide on a new server. Daystro says, but I want it for everyone. Well, I get it. Obviously, I do too. Okay? But it wasn't a mechanic that went to waste. Okay? It was not a mechanic that went to waste. This is the new player onboarding process. So, yeah, I'm going to play. All right? I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to play this just like I normally would. Like if I stream one night casually, I might not even play my main account. We might just play this one. Just do it. Okay? Mimi says 0 hostiles hit by day 2, slacking already. No, I was working on missions. Thank you. I've done 42 missions. Okay? I did 42 missions, and apparently it was not counting the mission, like the yellow ones, wasn't counting those as hostiles, Mimi. So I didn't do regular red hostiles. I was doing gold hostiles. All right? 42 missions I knocked out yesterday. And today, because I did play it a little bit today. All right? And by the way, I'm not going to be playing it crazy. I committed to playing less than an hour a day. So there you go. That's right. Dragon Keeper says, I haven't done 42 missions in 5 years on my level 70 account. Wait, really? Yes, you have. Quit being silly. All right. But yeah, here's Boldly Go. And it's for new players. So I'm looking forward to playing that. Anywho, back to the GS-31. All right. All that research is going to use these particles. We did some very early analytics yesterday on some of this research. We expect that the research is also going to move relatively quickly. Again, not going to be instant, not going to be day one, but you're not going to be waiting months and months for you to be able to get this research to usable levels. Again, this ship is going to move relatively quickly. I like the design. I like the time pacing. And I love the fact that they are offering accelerated upgrade packs for those of you who want it now and, want it now and want it now. All right. Taking a look at the ship parts refinery, I am going to see if I can get a screenshot here from Beck. She's in the refinery. Did we actually see that in her video? It doesn't look like she actually opened the ship parts refinery, did she? Daggone it, because hers was tier 4. Or hers was tier 6. And we were not able to get a view inside that refinery, so don't know. How about this? Officer sourcing. Pretty much immediate turnaround on sourcing for Section 31 Georgiou and Rachel Garrett. And Zeph, if you care. All right? But I like Rachel Garrett, and I very much like Section 31 Georgiou. Okay, this is from Beck's video. Okay, inside the GS Refinery. And by the way, looking at this currency here, okay, this is the same currency as those credits that you're earning from the rewards, from the actual Elite Solo Waves. Now, earlier I told you that you could earn enough currency from the Solo Wave Defense to feed your double refinery for 5 days, right? Well, it would be slightly less than 5 days if you wanted to max all of the other refineries, including the officer one. There is enough currency. Do you remember when we talked about the Vindicator event and we thought it was kind of weird, the Thursday event? We said, is there going to be enough currency to pull all 3 chests all 7 days? You remember when we asked that question when that came out? Well, the answer is yes. We will be able to max pull that refinery with the directives that we are earning, even one every 3 days. And this month, guys, is your chance to bank up. This month, you're going to get another 1,500 to 1,800 directives and gift chests all scattered throughout the month. This is your chance to bank up on that currency. And then after this month is over, who cares if you do 1 out of every 3 days? We're going to be moving on to something else. All right? Officer sourcing looks great. Ship part sourcing looks great. This is from Beck's video. Take a look here. This is a G5 level 4 wave defense that is paying 4,600 of the solo keys. The solo currency. By the way, that's 50% more than clearing a regular wave. 3,000 of the GS-31 recon data, which is what you're using in this refinery. 3,400 traditional credits and 1,700 mirror credits. And this, by the way, is only 4 of 5. The rewards are legit. There are very few scenarios in which you will want to do the old ones as compared to the new ones. Danny says, but how much is a pull?
I assume unless he can't.
Love that question, Danny. How much is a pull in the GS-31 refinery of that GS-31 recon data? A double pull is 500. The officer pull is 250 with a 22-hour cooldown, which means what you see here from this player, from this test account that Beck posted, that 3,000 currency is enough to actually fully fund the refinery for over 4 days. And you get a directive every 3 days. Okay. Savage Darkness says, I bet the components are expensive. What components? For the ship parts? Not bad. We've already done some preliminary math on that. Natively, we expect you to be able to hit Tier 5 within 30 days after unlocking the ship. So if you let's say you spend $100 on the ship, you could be Tier 5 within 30 days natively, free to play. It obviously won't be quote-unquote free to play because you got to pay for the ship. All right, but you follow me. If you wait to unlock the ship for free and say you wait that 90 or 100 days, whatever, then natively within 30 days, you'll have the ship to Tier 5. Okay? And no, it's not going to take 7 days to get one component at Tier 1. Shh. Stop it with that misinformation, Savage Darkness. All right? This is awesome, says Cruzito, but it does make me think that the new GG might be useless soonish. I don't think so, because the passive ability of the GS-31 is also a huge damage buff, meaning in wave defense, meaning that this ship is wildly useful even in combat inside solo wave defense. All right. So if you're combining Section 31's Giorgio's abilities with the extreme damage output of the ship, it's actually still going to be pretty good. Okay. It's still going to be pretty daggone good because the ship does have combat capability inside wave defense.
Doesn't it also have a second passive ability that gives it a bunch of Apex Shred?
I don't remember.
So
Mimi?
GG should go on a different ship.
What's the answer, Mimi? I don't remember. You think he meant GG for PvP? Isn't GG's below deck ability for PvP? It's not on the bridge. right? Isn't GG?
No, I'm saying that like because the new ship, I'm pretty sure it has two. It has a big damage boost, and it also has a big apex shred against the wave hostiles.
Let me see if I can find.
So adding her to the new ship.
Yeah, here you go. You're absolutely right. There are two passive abilities: increasing apex shred against wave defense hostiles by 25%. And this, by the way, is at tier 1. That 25% will rise by tier.
Yeah.
And then increasing base damage against solo wave defense hostiles by 115,000%. That is also tier 1, level 1. That number also will scale with level of the ship. Okay.
So GG goes on one of your others, probably, because that already has a healthy amount of apex shred.
Is she quickly becoming obsolete, Cruzito? No, I don't think so. I think you run it on a second ship. You get to pull 3 ships in here, right? You get to pull 3 ships.
Doesn't obsolete her in PvP below decks either.
Yeah.
So what it does obsolete, it feels like, is last month's waves.
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it.
I'm wondering why they did this.
I love it.
Like,
but no, this is the kind of design that we've been asking him for. All right. Do you remember when we talked last month when I said that solo wave defense replaced group wave defense? And it was the perfect mechanic because it was paying the same rewards. So we could no longer have to do the groups. We get a new feature with new rewards at a new store and great new items that we can exchange for. And most importantly, we can eliminate the group waves. Well, this is the same thing.
Yeah.
This is eliminating. And by the way, I don't say eliminating. It's enhancing. All right? Because there are players. Right, Tarpy? There are players who did struggle with the regular ones. There are players out there at a specific certain level that are going to struggle against these too. Maybe they need to rely on the solos. The solos become stage 1. They become the introductory. You can get some rewards, but not the most rewards. And as you get stronger and become better and become the elite, you get more rewards. Isn't that the whole point of everything? Like, isn't that a great event? Like, where everybody gets something, but if you're the best, you get more. This is...
Depends who you ask.
Well, okay, maybe. But it's something that the community has kind of yelled for a very, very long time, guys. Okay? This is the kind of feature. I actually like how this feature rolled out. It doesn't feel segmented like Mirror Universe did. You know, Mirror Universe was a similar kind of design where you released normal Mirror Universe and then you released Omega Universe. All right? Except this one feels even better. There's absolutely no punishment. And there's not even a change in mechanic. Not a change in currency. There's not a change in rewards. There's not a change in directives. It's just an additional target for you to go hit. Think of it like uncommon solo armadas and then rares came out later. Or we had uncommons and rares and epics came out later. Whatever. Same thing. Formation armadas. You had uncommons at one point and then rares came later. This is the same mechanic. Same mechanic.
It's better because it's just bigger, stronger uncommons showing up. That pay you more.
Bigger, stronger with the same currency that pay you more. Yes, you're not losing the old ones.
Currency.
You're not losing the old ones. Spectre says this is where the lack of directive sourcing becomes a huge issue, especially for the non-elite. I disagree. It gives you more. It gives you more options with more grid, which Jules is going to share with you here in a couple days, for you to pick your best paying spot depending on where you can be. All right. As a matter of fact, it's going to give you essentially 13 more options at earning more rewards. Spectre says for players that can't do the elites. Well,
why do they need more directives? They're still the same as before. This is a punch-up option.
Well, not only
Use the
that,
directives
but
on
let's
the
say
elite waves if you can beat them to get more.
let's pretend that a player struggled with G5 regulars. Maybe they can clear the G4 Elite. Maybe the G4 Elite would pay them more. And by the way, we don't know. I have not seen the grid, okay? But I'm saying there's 13 more payout levels now for you to choose where you can punch and get paid more. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, there's a G4 Elite, Wolfwood. And a G5. And a G6. Cool. Questions, because I'm running up on my 2-hour mark. Thank you, Mimi, for the time. All right. Mimi says, based on what we saw yesterday, G5 Elites paid out better than the regular G6s. And G4 Elites are going to be paying out better than G5 regular. I agree with that. Shelby says 13 levels. No, I mean, you've got 13 more reward levels. So you've got 3 in the G4 Elites, wave 1, 2, and 3. Then you've got 5 for G5 and 5 for G6, where you can, so we'll have all of those pay out. Like there's going to be 13 more entries on the chart. I don't mean 13 waves. Sorry. It's still 3, 5, and 5. Okay. There you go. All right. Questions, because I'm running up on time. Thank you, Mimi, for the reminder. This has been a nice, concise, information-packed episode, and I hope that you guys are feeling as optimistic as I am. Okay? I enjoyed solo waves. I know not everybody did. I enjoyed solo waves, and I'm looking forward to elites even more. And for the first time in a while, I actually am looking forward to working on a new ship because I need parts. You guys remember the last couple of months, I've kind of been hinting that parts were coming. So has Hammy. We've all been talking about parts coming. All right? Well, this is it. This is the Monavine of parts. And it's got a really cool capability in wave defense. So I'm looking forward to it. Didn't I say a G5 cannot do G4 elites? No, I never said that. I did say outside of the event. I said outside of the event, you may want to punch down, Dragon Keeper. What I did say is that they're doing that alpha, omega, epsilon, delta quadrant thingy, okay? So, like, for that event, I can see some people being frustrated because they're not making any adjustments to that. So, Retrieving just asked the same question. Will G6 players be able to score in those SMSs with G5? The answer is no, okay? They did not make those changes. I did ask for it. That was declined to me. They said that they were maintaining the challenge of it. And again, it is partial rewards because everyone will be able to clear wave 1 and wave 2. All right. I mean, if you know what you're doing. So even a level 60 will not likely have much trouble with wave 1 and wave 2. That'll give you partial progression. They're giving you that challenge. You get some rewards, but you've got to go through and punch up if you want to get all of the rewards, which again, they're using my words against me, Matters, so it's hard for me to be super fussy about it. I did argue that 60 is not G6. I even argued that 62 is not technically G6, and they had a hard pushback against that. They were like, it is so. And I'm like, yeah, but not for combat. It's not. You're still using G5 ships. All right. However, I did not win that argument. All right. So the SMS structure Retrieving will be focused the exact same way. But again, you say the event's DOA? No. The event is DOA for those who can't do it. And that's fine. I understand that. I would still recommend you do the first wave or the first 2 waves, get some rewards out of it. Okay? But no, you're not going to be able to finish it. Say la vie. All right? And outside of that event, you're going to do better punching down anyway. Okay? So outside of that event, punch down. Do whatever it takes to earn the most credits. Okay? Do whatever it takes to earn the most credits. Retrieving says they need to make them heroic. They're not going to. I just told you. They're not making any changes. They are not making any changes. It is what it is. And now you know to expect it. So shush. Quit being all upset about it. You know what to expect. You know what's coming. For better or worse, you know what it is. So plan for it. Listen, maybe you do want to write off the event. Then use all your currency to get more rewards out of punching down. Or maybe since this is going to be an event store month, you want to do what you can to earn what currency you can and move forward. I will be discussing with Jules. We are probably going to consider I'll just tell you right now, my vote would be to consider event number 1 and event number 2 to be regular, but I would agree with you that 3, 4, and 5 we will probably not include in the free-to-play loot count, okay? And I think that is very fair. I agree with you on where the segmentation is supposed to be, all right? They are not going to change it, so we know what to expect. Now it's up to us to work on that information. So when Jules and I are working on this, it is very likely that my specific recommendation is going to be that levels 1 and 2 of that event should be considered free to play, and that 3, 4, and 5 would be considered more heroic. Matter says he disagrees, and by the way, it's not that I'm calling it pay to play loot, okay? But it is not guaranteed. And that was the whole point.
No, that's not what I disagree with.
The whole loot tracker concept. The whole loot tracker concept has always been based around just participate and you can get this much. Engagement for all. I don't think in good faith I can count wave 3 or higher as engagement for all. 1 and 2, I absolutely can get behind that. Okay?
I completely agree with that and how you do your loot and figure it out and what you consider as free to play loot. That's not what I disagreed with. That's okay.
Yeah.
I just disagreed with the segmentation. I with the power difference between epic ships and the other ones in their generation, it's hard not to feel like epic ships tend to be closer to the next generation ships than their own. We see it with the G5 epics and even more now with the G6 epics. So to me, a G5 ship is like it's the water wings into G6 content.
Well,
you're doing it with your G5 ships and
listen, Tarpy doesn't disagree, and I don't disagree. I'm clearing the regular G6 waves with my G5 epics. All right, but not everybody is that way. Matters, and in all fairness, you know, not everybody's in that.
No, I'm not. I don't think everyone will be that way. I don't expect anybody to just absolutely dominate all G6 content unless they're a 70 with a G6 epic.
I agree.
Once you have a G6 epic, there's nothing in the game that you can't beat.
That's
nor
right.
Should there be? Because you got the final prize.
Yeah.
You win. Until they release G7.
Until they release G7. That's right. So, yeah, Lost In says, listen, guys, you guys are really overthinking this. Just use 3 G6 epics and you'll be fine. Yeah, I agree. That's that's completely accurate. All right, there you go. Berlin says, I'd take my Tribune in PvE over any G5 uncommon. Listen, I'm still flying my G5 epics over the G6 uncommons. You know what I'm saying? So, is what it is. But Retrieving says, then why are they using participation-based SMSs considering 1% metrics? They're not. Okay? They're not. 1%. This is a partial participation event. I would liken this more, Retrieving, to a Syndicate XP event where everyone's going to be able to get the first 2 milestones, but the last 2 or 3 milestones are going to be up there. Except this doesn't require spend. It requires account development. Okay? Which, by the way, may or may not be spend involved and could also have something to do with timing, right? Depending on how long you've been there, depending on how long you've had to develop your ships, how much time have you had to do your research. So that's why I say I totally understand your point, okay? I don't even disagree with your point. I am simply telling you, this is one of those times where I'm telling you there's no point in arguing with me because I made my pitch, I shot my shot. All right, it is staying the way that it's staying. So now I'm not defending it. I'm giving you the information for you to do with it what you will. Okay, be prepared, know that it's coming, and experiment a little bit. Now that you know it's coming, you've got 2 days to tinker around with boosts and fortifies and exos to see if you can do better in the waves you've got now because the ones that are coming are going to be tougher. Okay? Oh, Danny says, I don't what with my past comments. Don't what? No, Danny's been around for a while. What am I saying that's hypocritical? Oh, Tarpy. Tarpy probably can't hear all the words properly because she's at 34,000 feet. All right, so there's probably stuff dropping in and out. All right, so yeah, be nice. Tarpy is my right hand girl over here. Okay, you guys be nice to Tarpy. She'll kick your asses. All right. Any other questions? Very quick. Oh, TJ says, DJ, what ops are you? Why push to 66 if I can't build the warship? I am 66, and I built the Velox. But I didn't have enough stuff to take it all the way to tier 9. I'm only at tier 6 right now. So I can use it, but it's still a little squishy. All right, it's still not great.
Counterpoint. Why not push to 66 just because you can't build the warship? That's my question. I'm 67, and I don't have a rare. And I'm fine.
What?
So why wait until you can actually get the ship before pulling the trigger? What's the holdup?
I mean, I don't quite get that one, but I mean, to everybody their own. And Daystros pulls up a really good point in chat. Today's economy, today's state of the game, despite some of the stuff that we complain about, okay? The state of the game today is healthier than it has been at certain points in our past. Daystros says, I've been preaching since the Revenant loop that your own account's strengths and weaknesses determine your success in this content. There is no cookie cutter anymore. All right. And I agree with that. There is no cookie cutter anymore.
Totally.
All right. And that is actually healthy for a game. All right. Now, when you do things that make it cookie cutter, like shred, okay, then I become more fussy because that is cookie cutter, right? Use one mechanic and nullify everything else in the game, but that's a totally different conversation. All right? But when everybody has a different strategy, Cruzito says, SMSs could be completable for most players if you use the tools and all of the tools. Don't forget, you got cloaking. You got field repairs. You've got Titan. You got Cerritos. You got all this stuff. All right? But players have to make a choice as to when or what to use those tools on. And some players don't use the tools at all, which is not going to get you very far. You've got to use those tools in some cases. All right? So I agree that the game is, in that regard, not very cookie cutter. There's a lot of tools that a lot of people have focused on that other people haven't. For example, I am very lacking in my cloaking research, and I'm very lacking in field repairs. I haven't done either of those two. I've just never focused on it. Okay? Never have. But other people have. Maybe other people have not focused as much on Galactic Acclaim. I might have spent a lot of incursion loot on Galactic Acclaim.
Really?
I didn't really have anything else to spend it on. The strike teams don't matter.
I've gotten a lot of it, and I've maxed out the favor on my Negvar.
Yeah.
Just from wherever we get it from, events and the G6 monopoles and stuff.
I will also point out.
I mean, it's not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working on my Velox with Galactic Acclaim. I will also remind people, Tarpy is right about this comment. We saw last month the waves that came out, and they were challenging. But by week 2, how many players in this community, how many players came forth and said, DJs, thank you. Thanks, Matters. Thanks, Jules. Thanks, Tarpy. Because with your advice, I was actually able to get one more wave, or I was able to clear it. Okay? Like, we are talking about day 1, and that's what Tarpy writes. These are the elites. We can't expect to clear them all on day 1, and I agree with that. But I'd be willing to bet that we're going to find a trick. I'd be willing to bet we're going to find a strategy. I'd be willing to bet we're going to find something that is going to help a handful of you get one wave further. And for some people who weren't able to clear their waves and now are able to clear their waves with what Cruzito points out is the proper use and the proper combination of tools, then good for you. Look at what we did with my account. I was always able to clear them, right, Matters? But you saved me Cerritos juice. I was always able to clear it, but then it became a matter of me clearing it more efficiently.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And Lostin says, I bet a lot of us are probably going to finish all the levels on day one. And again, if you're level 69, if you're level 70, I don't doubt that. Okay? I do not doubt that. But for the vast majority of the game, these are probably not going to be day one, check the box kind of things. We're going to need to fine-tune. We're going to need to tweak a little bit. Look in the chat right now, Lost In. Okay? Look in the chat right now. Risk Breaker, I Kill You, Trickle, Master Viper, Floyd. All right? A lot of these players coming in and saying, listen, I actually, look, there's Shiz. I made improvements based on what the community discussed. I was able to improve my performance. I expect that that is going to happen this month as well. Okay? Not everybody's going to be able to clear it all. But for those who can, great. Enjoy the rewards. This, for those of you who will be able to clear everything on day one, well, then you reduce your screen time. That's what you are effectively doing. You can do fewer waves with the same currency and earn more rewards. So, for Canine Tooth, for Cruzito, for Lost In, for those who say, I'm going to be able to clear this on day one, I am sorry that they didn't make a challenge enough for you, because I know that that's what you guys want. However, it's not in vain, because you will actually be able to do less screen time as a result. And that is also, I would consider that to be thoughtful design. So, Shelby says, I still want the parts. Well, then there you go. You get the refinery as well. All right. So I think that's why I say I'm not trying to dissuade anybody or rose-colored glass anybody. I'm saying, I mean, everything that I've seen and everything that I have played, I am looking forward to this month. I think that it's looking all right. I think it's looking somewhat cool. Do I know if the solo ciphers will be in the Wave Defense Battle Pass? I did not specifically ask that question. I have no reason to think that would change. All right, but I think that would make sense. Okay, but I don't have a confirmation for you. Lost In says, this all sounds pretty good. Don't understand why anybody wouldn't be happy as you have described it today, DJs. That's not exactly my goal, but I am optimistic about it, and I hope that you guys can sense that optimism. I do think that we will eventually run across something. Like I said, I am a little bit concerned about what it's going to do for Kirshara. Like, what if you beam? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you beam a hostile, to me, it just screams that it's going to break Kirshara, but I don't know. All right. I have no idea. Shelby says, why does this feel like it's a week late? What do you mean? You mean the ARC launch? No, it's right. It's right. We had a 2-week break between ARCs. It's because of the way that the calendar fell. 2-hour stream right here. Okay, we're about ready to go. Officers, yay or nay? They're okay. I'm not over the moon, but I'm not upset. All right, they'll be fine. I'll get what I can get. I will probably participate in the solo milestones, probably not all 3 of them. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm probably not going to participate in all 3, but I'll probably get what I can get. You know what I'm saying? They're great. I mean, they're not over the moon great, but they're not bad. Okay? That's all I'm giving you, Dallas. That's all I'm giving you right now. Okay? I'm not supposed to talk about the officers at all. Yeah, Carissa picked up what I was laying down. Thank you. Cruzito asked if we had a level 70 player in the playtest. I am not going to answer that intentionally, Cruzito. Only because there's not that many of them out there. I feel like that might be a left-handed question at trying to identify who's on pack, and I'm not going to do that. All right, so that's what I'm sure that's not what you meant, but I don't want anybody to think sideways about it, so I'm not going to answer that question. I was there, so there you go. All right, Dastros, why on earth would I read that question out loud? You crazy boy. Alpaca says, will the GS-31 be useful in elite group waves? Well, there is no such thing as an elite group wave, Alpaca. All right. Or are you referring to like the level 60s from the very first month? Is that what you're referring to? I don't think so. I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. Because this ship has a parameter code for Apex Raiders. Okay? The targets that the hostiles that it targets are Apex Raiders, which are the tag of hostiles that exist in solo wave defense. So I would not expect this to... Now, listen, it could still do 3 of the hostiles, remember? It could do 3 of them. But it's not going to do the 5, if that makes sense. And it's not going to increase shred, and it's not going to increase your damage. So it's not likely to perform very well. You could bring it in just for it to be a beam ship. You know what I'm saying? You could bring it in just for it to be a beam ship, perhaps. But it's not going to perform super well. Not at the early tiers. I would expect that this ship will come into its own because they are expecting players to want to hit regular PvE hostiles with it. So I would imagine for the original waves, it probably could be effective, but you'll only get 3 hostiles with the beam instead of 5. Okay? Alpaca says it won't necessarily kill those high-strength hostile ships with the beam. To be honest with you, yes, it should once the research is high enough. Matters, do me a favor. Look at one of the original group waves in the big system and give me the hull health on it. Is it more or less than 500 million? I don't know. I don't remember. Can anybody just answer that quick? Is it more or less than 500 million for the hull health on the big ships? In
mirror or regular?
Regular or mirror. I guess it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Don't forget though, even if it doesn't take it out, it does still apply that weakened state.
It applies the weekend, and it hits 3 ships, which is exactly the number of specialty ships that come in the final wave. So what it could possibly do is if there's some kind of specialty ship that's really hard to kill, this weakened state may be enough to then make those killable.
Yeah.
That entire cluster in that last wave.
Dastros is confirming that mirror universe hostiles and mirror waves are more than 500 million. Mimi says some of the original group waves have hostiles that top out at 9 billion. So, yeah, I would expect that the cutting beam is not going to automatically be able to kill everything no matter what. But it will apply that status. So, as Matters points out, there could still be advantages to that. Possibly. All right. Yeah. Anything else? I'm out of time. I'm actually 10 minutes over. Mimi, we did pretty good though. I mean, honestly, if we're actually gonna like count wins, I mean, being 10 minutes over 2 hours, I'm still gonna call that one a win right there. All right. All right. Anything else? Any other questions that I can answer very quickly? Last second as we get ready to wrap on up and prepare the closing of our show.
I think we should just say we started 10 minutes early. That way you're not 10 minutes late.
Will it weaken gold? What are you referring to? Gold hostiles?
Ooh.
I don't see why it would not. It's actually a really good question. I don't see why it wouldn't. Well, hang on.
They should be
are they actually considered non-Armada hostiles?
Yeah, no, it probably won't work because anything that says anything, like anything that specifies anything as a target, doesn't work on.
Yeah,
gold
this
hostiles.
designates a non-Armada hostile, so probably not on the gold ones. Okay. Berlin says, what about Q's trial hostiles? Well, those are hostiles.
Yes, it'll work on them.
Yeah, those are hostiles. So there you go. I would say that you are probably in good shape for Q's trials. Okay. There we go. Am I wearing pants? Yes. I am. Can you use it to rep grind? I don't see why not. But again, obviously, you're going to have to develop the ship a little bit. All right. I don't see why you couldn't, but, you know, there is that. Would like to remind you guys about the Warp Drive 5 that will be streaming tomorrow night starting at 11 p.m. Eastern. We will likely not be streaming tomorrow because this podcast is it. Thanks to Beck and Scopely for giving us all this information early so that we've been able to not scramble the night before. So there is that. We will likely not stream tomorrow night. And we'll be back with you on Tuesday night as we break in, actually demonstrate the ship, and I will likely probably spend a couple of bucks on it to show you guys what its capabilities are publicly and on my account. But as you guys are awaiting the countdown to maintenance, I invite you to check out Major Samo's channel as she will be your host this month for STFC Arcfall and the Warp Drive 5 starting at 11 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday night. For those of you still hanging out, we appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for all of the incredible generosity on the show today. Thank you, Iron Chef, for your 100 kitty bitties. Thank you, Freelancer, for your kitty bitties. You guys be sure and go check out our website at TalkingTrekSTFC.com. That's TalkingTrekSTFC.com, where you can find links over to the YouTube channel, where you can find yesterday's stream. You can also find access to our merch store, the Patreon. Let me tell you something matters. Saturday night, Studio B was stupid hot. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. As a matter of fact, if you guys will go to the Patreon, I actually did post a free preview. It's like 5 minutes long. It's 5 minutes long, and I chose a different 5-minute segment for the audio and the video. So you could actually get 10 minutes of the show for free. Go check it out. It was wild. It was so much fun. I had an absolute blast. So you guys be sure to go check that out. And if you would like to get full playbacks of any of the Studio B shows, then I invite you to go check out our Patreon, where all of our Studio B shows are available for playback for as low as $15 on the month. Thank you very, very much for your support. Thank you all so very much for being a part of our Litterbox community here at Talking Trek, a registered trademark and recorded in front of a live studio audience for distribution across podcast platforms everywhere. I'm your friendly neighborhood cat person, UltimatDJz, saying meow for now. Love you, minute. Catch ya on the next one. Good night, everybody. Have a happy weekend.